on. Sorry.
Well, we are authentic here, okay? Oh, fuck.
It just said that it's not going to record because I'm too. It'll be in the group though, so we'll be able to grab it. Okay.
Okay.
It said I was out of storage space, so I gotta. All right, so I'm about to hit live. All right, so you ready? Let's see if it
It
works.
always says we're live, so.
Come on, do it. Oh, come on. I think we are live. Yay! All right, so luckily we weren't live a minute ago. So let me pull this up on my phone so that I can see if people get here and what all's going on. Okay.
I've been so excited for being here today.
I know. I've been excited to have you because I've been saying, we're going to talk about the magnetic relationships. So, and so what I want to do is we're going to just jump in it because we do have a time restraint that we're working with.
Yeah.
And so while we're waiting on people to come because they can watch the recording, just go ahead and tell a little bit about you and how you got into this space of helping people with this relationship stuff.
Well, I have been struggling with the relationship all my life. So,
Yeah.
but I live just outside Copenhagen in Denmark. I'm the mom of 4 girls, and I have been in 2 long-term relationships, and not healthy relationships. They were filled with feeling wrong all the time. I was feeling stuck, manipulated, confused, alone. I had the victim mentality, feeling not good enough.
You're describing me right here. Keep going.
I was told that I was lazy, ugly, bad mom, hysterical. Yeah.
Damn.
And I came to believe it.
Yeah.
When you hear it every day, you believe it at the end. So my 20s were just like filled with all these chaotic emotions. And when I turned 30, I already had 2 girls. I chose to get a divorce because I wanted to teach my 2 girls not to settle for anything less than they deserved.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was a role model, and this was not something I want them to learn.
Yeah.
And at that time, my journey into my authentic self and figuring all this relationship stuff out really began. So I just want to show my girls something else.
Yeah. I can appreciate completely because all that stuff you were describing, that's how I have felt in some of the relationships that I've been in. And I've been married twice. And
me too.
Yes. But I've been single now for going on. Let's see, how old is my daughter? So 26 years that I've been single. Now I've had relationships in that time, right? But I've been working on me and who I am for quite a while. And I've gotten to this place, and I think I shared it with you before when we talked, but I got to this place where I'm so comfortable in my singleness, right?
Yeah.
My daughter's my roommate, we share a house. And the last relationship that I had, and that's been quite a while, he was so needy that he made me constantly want to get alone and get away. And I really liked the guy, but it was like he was infringing on my space, And so once I got out of that relationship, it was like, then I started feeling like it's all an imposition, having a relationship with someone was just going to take me away from what I wanted to do. And it was going to be, And to be honest with you, like I said, I've been married twice and I've had a lot of relationships. Financially, I've been better off alone. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And and actually emotionally, I've been better off alone. And so I find myself getting into this place of I don't want this relationship because I don't want to almost like mess up the apple cart,
Mm.
kind of thing. And so
Mm.
when we talked and you were talking about being magnetic to the right relationship and all the different things, it was like, then I started thinking, well, if I was magnetic to the right relationship, then it probably wouldn't be the tip in the apple cart. It wouldn't feel like an imposition. It wouldn't feel like somebody was just draining my time. It would feel totally different.
It
And
will
so that's
feel,
what I'm excited to kind of discover with you.
yeah, it feels totally different, Vicky.
Yeah.
It's easy. There's no pleasing, and if they're pleasing, it's because you choose to do it. There's just like I have my own space. He has his own space. It's just like easy peasy.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when you say he has his own space and you have your own space, what do you mean?
Well, I mean,
Separate
if we
houses,
no no no
separate
no no no
bedrooms.
no no
So
no
I'm
we
just
live
trying to
together.
figure out.
Yeah, we live together, sleep together, and
Okay.
and but if I need some space for myself, if I need Louise time, I
Mhm.
just tell him, and that's totally okay. There is acceptance always. And if he needs to go out with a colleague or a friend to have dinner or anything, it's totally fine. I can keep myself occupied. I can entertain myself, and he can do the same thing. But we also just love to be together.
Yeah. Yeah. That sounds beautiful.
It is.
And I see examples of that in some people that I know. However, the relationship they have is perfect for them, but it's not the relationship I would want. There's different pieces of it that I
Mm,
like. And like I can look back at relationships I've had with some people, and there were parts of it that I loved,
mm.
and then parts of it I didn't. So just to ask, how do you become magnetic to the parts that you love and leave the parts that you didn't?
Well, the first step is to release all your old experiences that you don't like and you
Okay,
don't want
so
anymore because those,
explain. Go a
yeah,
little bit deeper on there, baby.
yeah. If if your past relationship were with a needy person, you have to figure out what pattern you have that is a perfect match to that needy pattern
Well,
because
see, just not to interrupt, and of course I am, but the thing is that when I started going out with him, I was so far from needy. I have been very needy in the
I'm
past,
not saying you're
but
needy.
I wasn't. But he was somebody I knew for a long time,
Mm.
and so maybe that's what it was. That since we had known each other for so long, we were considered friends. I mean, I'd known him for over 20 years.
Mm.
So I think that maybe I wasn't listening to my inner guidance
Hmm.
when we went out the first time.
Yeah.
You
and
think?
and also you have to become aware of if you are running for something or you're running towards something,
Okay.
because that's a big difference.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I can in my first marriage, I didn't, after 4 months I knew we wouldn't grow old together. I knew
Hmm.
there was something I had to learn, and I knew that when I learned that lesson I wouldn't stay with him anymore.
Wow.
But he was my escape from my home with my parents.
Okay.
So he was the better option.
I see. Yeah.
Two bad options, but he was the better one.
Yeah. The lesser of two evils kind of thing.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so I didn't run towards him because he was just like, oh, but he was the better choice in my opinion at that time.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because my first marriage, I got married on my 19th birthday. He was
Mhm.
a lot older than me. And when I first met him, I did not like him. I thought he was an asshole,
Yeah.
right? He
Yeah.
was a musician, and I was hanging out with these friends. We would go to the club and
Mm.
we would talk afterwards. And I thought, asshole, right?
Yeah.
But it was like that um, being around someone over and over and over again, sometimes it's like you start feeling these things that you should have just stepped away from, right?
Yeah.
And so I spent time around him because he was in the club. And then he asked me to go to breakfast after the club. I went, and then he starts acting like he wants to date. And I said, we just need to be friends.
Mm.
Famous last words. 3
Trust
months
your
later, we
gut.
got married,
Yeah. Trust your
right?
gut. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was definitely, we were married for a little over 6 years. I had my son.
Mm.
So I did get something good out of it,
Mm.
and a lot of lessons. So, and then I was divorced for 7 years before I remarried.
Mm.
So it's really interesting. Now, my second marriage was much better than my first. He was a much better man, but it was still, I think, I think I was wanting, in some way, I was wanting to be rescued in
So,
the second one, right?
yeah. Yeah. So, and that's typical. What I did in my first marriage and in my second marriage, when I divorced for the second time, it was just like I had to see which patterns were in the first relationship, in the second marriage, and just redefine those, release them,
Mm-hmm.
and really ask myself, Louise, what do you want? Because I knew that he should be tall, beautiful hair, slim, masculine. I knew all these like external things,
Mm-hmm.
but I forgot to focus on the internal
Right.
things. So I had to become aware and really do some soul searching of what it was that I wanted in the next relationship.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that took me some times because I didn't know what I wanted.
Yeah.
I just had this picture. We all grew up with with the Disney movies. Everything
Mm-hmm.
is perfect.
And
Prince
Ken,
Charming,
Barbie and Ken, and
yeah,
yeah,
Barbara
yeah,
and Ken,
yeah, yeah.
exactly.
Uh,
And the reality is just different.
yeah. Well, I will say that one of the things that I did develop was the ability to look at these different relationships and figure out, what do I like? What do I not like? So focus on what I do like.
Mm,
And so I got to a place where it wasn't the physical parts anymore,
mm,
because I realized how fleeting those physical attributes could be. And I wanted someone that I wanted to be with a lifetime. And I saw, and I'll just admit this, um, I saw pictures. You know how you see pictures of someone, and when they're really young, now when you look at them when they're
yeah.
old, and you think, ooh, but you look at them when they're young and they're
Yeah,
gorgeous. So I thought,
yeah.
it don't translate. So why do I worry? I've never admitted that to a soul in my life, but you know what I mean? So
I had
because
the
our
same
ears and our
experiences. Yeah,
noses keep growing, and some
yeah.
people, they
Ears
really
getting
grow.
bigger.
It's just, so it's like, why do I worry about that? We don't have a clue if they look like this now, how they're going to look when they're older. So I'm not going to worry about that. And one of the things that I started, at one point I had this list of all the things that I
Mm,
wanted as attributes, not
mm,
physical, but like things that would, endearing things that they would do or say, and qualities that they had and everything. And I had, right before I started dating this one guy, that it went really south bad. And but I was saying, he has pet names for me and all these different things, right? So I get into this relationship, and it was exactly what I said in my little notes, right?
yep.
And he ended up being so unfaithful that when I discovered what was going on, he was seeing 5 women that I knew of, and I quit looking because I didn't want to know anymore. And so when I finished with that relationship, I went and I looked at my list. Okay, he only uses pet names for me. I changed some of those things, right? Because I discovered if he called me this pet name, it was because he was saying it to everybody and he didn't have to say names. He was, he was a master at it. I learned a hell of a lot from him, and he was great in some areas that I loved. And so I bring those pieces with me. But like I said, the last guy I dated was very needy, and I probably didn't pay attention to, I wasn't dating anybody. And, and he asked, and I thought, we've known each other forever. Let's go out.
It feels comfortable.
Yeah. So that's what I did. And so it was good. We were dating right before COVID hit. And so through COVID and everything, we were seeing each other, but it was like I kept trying to figure out a way to get away for a while, because he was one of those people that would, when you were there with him, he wanted you right there with him, suffocating, right?
Yeah.
And a nice guy, but suffocating. And so as you were talking about all these things, and I'm not trying to take over the whole thing because I really want you to get into all this because I can see there's some people watching. And if you want to jump in and ask questions, just say hello and let me know that you're here. Because otherwise we can't see comments or anything unless you say hello. And so the thing is that from where I stand right now, and I feel like after our conversations before that I'm open to having a relationship, right? And I'm doing the inner work. So if I'm doing the inner work and now I'm open to a relationship, what's the step there besides letting go of the past relationships, which is always easier said than done? Hello, Lynn. So Lynn's watching and listening. Thank you.
Hello.
So what would be the next thing that helps me to become magnetic for the right person? I don't know. Did I word that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
Well, the next step I did, and I would do if I were you, were just like write down your match, your magnetic match qualities. Find your words. I had like 4 words that became mine that I can give you an example.
Okay. Please do.
Equality were very important to me. He should see me as an equal partner.
Ooh, I like that.
I have like responsible. He should be responsible for his own
happiness,
crap, his own baggage, past relationships, his own growth. He should be responsible in finances, for his communication, for his own actions, what he brings to the table. And my 3rd word was integrity. He should be a man, own that he is a man with his own power and boundaries. He should be trustworthy, reliable, accountable. That to me is what I put under the word integrity.
Yeah.
And then I would love passion.
Oh, I was going to say romance has got to be in there somewhere. So come on, give it to me.
He should be passionate about life, his job, his affection towards me when we're intimate. And he should have what I call the monogamous. I can't pronounce it. It's so difficult in English. Monogamous. Gene. Yeah. So not all men has that gene, has that quality.
Yeah, I've experienced that. Yeah.
So I put that right down in my notes as well, because it's very important to me. And then I began to exercise all of those things. If I found a magnetic match that had all these things, how would that make me feel?
Mm.
And I started to cultivate like a seed, water, and fertilizer, and just all these emotions. How would that make me feel?
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, you, I fell in love with those feelings that that relationship gave me before I even met him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And um, equal attracts equal.
Right.
So when you have all these emotions, when you have all these feelings, and you're feeling good and you're feeling hot because he sees you as a woman, you can be exactly who you are. You can be goofy if you're goofy, and when you feel like you're goofy, and you can be vulnerable. You can all these. I'm just like imagine how that relationship would make me feel. And I kept doing it, and I kept feeling it, and I kept back visualizing it all, this relationship all the time. And I was just, and within 2 months, I met him
Wow. So where did you meet him?
on a dating app. My
Ah.
first dating app ever. He was my
Mm-hmm.
first date ever. We don't, well, it has become more and more common that we date here in Denmark as well. But I'm like the old school. I'm not used to dating apps and all that stuff. So, but I was challenged by my girlfriend
Mm-hmm.
uh, to go on to go on a dating app.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes when I get theirs, I can't turn them down. So it just, and I only opened up and did a profile because it was a challenge, so I could tell her, yeah, I did it.
Did it?
I
Yeah.
did it.
So
I don't
was he
know.
the one person you met, or did you meet other people and talk to them, or was it like, bam, here he is?
He he was, well, I've talked, I have swiped.
Okay.
And also there were a few
See,
that
it's been
come.
a while since I've done dating apps. You didn't swipe back then when I did them, you know?
You
So
do
it's,
today, Wiggy.
yeah, yeah.
But there was a couple of guys that wrote to me, but just from what they were writing, I could see they didn't have responsibility for their own life or their old stories, past
Yeah.
relationships. So, and that was a no go because I had my 4 words
Mm-hmm.
and I had defined them, and I was really clear about it.
Yeah.
And then I just trusted my gut. If it felt good, I would write back. Well, I always write back, and no, but no thanks.
Yeah.
Um, but I just, he was, I think he was my fifth, that contacted me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like sending a smiley back. Because he looks so cute on the pictures. And then he wrote to me, and I could instantly, I noticed that there was something more to this. There was a depth that I
Okay.
couldn't explain.
Yeah. Like
That
your
he,
intuition was
yeah,
feeling the vibration of everything.
exactly. And he was just like, he had integrity. He was very polite and kind, and it was, I felt like it was natural for him to be like that. So we began right back and forth. And the more I, I, I think it was the fourth message, we agreed that we wanted to be totally honest, no BS, and that we were not responsible for, if he wrote something, he was not responsible for how I perceived things, because that could be something old that was triggered in me. That
Mm-hmm.
was not his intention. And the other way around too.
Mm-hmm.
So that was responsible, tick.
Yeah.
Integrity, tick.
Yeah.
Um, and then we wrote back and forth for a week before we had our first date. And Vicky, my first date ever. I was 49, and I was so scared. I was so nervous. New shoes. Never wear new shoes on your first date.
No.
No, never. Um, and well, my intention with that first date was just like to be in a space with another man I've never met before, and to feel at ease and authentic. That was my goal. My
Mm-hmm.
goal wasn't a relationship.
Right.
My goal was to prove to myself that I could be at ease and I could be authentic with a male that I didn't know before.
Okay.
So, well, the date went well, 6 hours.
Wow.
Yeah, wow. And on the way home in the car, it was just like, nah, no, no thanks, not for me.
Why is
It's
that?
when everything is served to you on a silver platter, you can get scared.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything that I have felt, everything that I've written down, everything I have, all the emotions I've gone through prior to meeting him,
Mm-hmm.
I could take off, and that scares the beep out of me.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that it was. I got scared. It was just like nah. And then I have a girlfriend who lives in London, and she's very intuitive, and she said, how was the date? And I was just like, well, good, but not for me. Cute. And he said, Louise, I have to ask you, are you sure? And I know when she writes something like that, there is something that I'm missing.
Mm-hmm.
So for 2 weeks, I went back and forth with myself in my head. And she tried to say, if it feels good in the gut, trust it. As long as it feels good, it's good.
Yeah.
And but all my past experiences was just like all the ghosts were just like boom 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 boom, because
Yeah.
can it be true that I can get that relationship that I've always dreamt of? So for 2 weeks I went back and forth, and then my other girlfriend who challenged me to go on the dating app said that well, just look at your messages. How does it feel when you read them? And when I took my phone, he popped up with a message, and I got so scared that I just threw my phone. How could he know that I was looking at his message? And then he was writing me one. I had
Yeah.
already said no, and he just asked
So
me,
he messaged you after the date and you said no?
yes. And
Okay.
then the
Okay.
2 week
So you
and
didn't tell us that.
oh
Come on now.
yeah, but I said no.
Okay.
I and I wrote a beautiful text that
Okay. Yeah. Well,
I'm
you let him
I'm
down
not feeling
easy.
it. I
Yeah.
can't feel it. It's not for me. But thank you for a great date.
Oh,
It's
you
just
made
like
me snort.
yeah. I'm so good at writing text that you can't say anything to.
Yeah.
It just is.
I love it. I love it.
So but he messaged me while I was looking at our old messages. So and he asked me, I'm thinking of you. Do you ever think of me? And we have promised to
Oh,
be honest
I
from the
love that.
beginning, so I wouldn't lie. So I told him, yes, I'm thinking of you. You pop up in my thoughts. And he said, then tell me, why not a second date?
Oh, I love him.
I know. Me too.
Has he got a brother?
No.
Oh, darn.
And then I said, okay, what are you doing tomorrow? And my intention with that second date was I had to prove my two girlfriends that I was right. He was
Ah,
not for me. I was right in writing that text that I didn't feel it. But when he kissed me the first time, I was just like, "Ah." And it was just like, oh, okay, I had to receive, Loise. It's okay. If it feels good, it's good. I have to convince my ego it was okay to let go and just enjoy
Yeah.
because it felt good
Yeah.
and not to fight against it.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And so, from what I remember of our conversation before, now you're helping people that
Mm-hmm.
maybe are like me, are like maybe some of the people that are watching that are not in a relationship. Of course, I can see one of the people that's watching, and I know she's in an amazing relationship, so we don't even have to worry about her. But
Happy for you.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, you know who you are. And so the thing is that you help people to get outside of their old beliefs and the actions and the things that they did in relationships, and you help them to move forward into this new way of looking at it. And so if you want to, I know you have a Facebook group that people can go to, and then you're actually going to be having a program or something coming up. Am I
Well, I
remembering?
have a small event.
A
It's just
small
like
event.
a
Okay.
Friday night date. I call it
Okay.
the
Ooh, I like it.
relationship reset date.
Ooh, I
It's
like it.
it's Friday, December 6th.
Let me write that down.
And we're going to cover some of the two most common things that hold you back
Mm-hmm.
and the two most common behavioral patterns that has the ability to just make a relationship go down the drain.
Okay.
And I have an exercise called the emotional detox trio because there is a lot of emotions that just takes up a lot of space in your energy. And it is like with energy, what you're sending out is coming back. So you don't want all those negative
Yeah.
emotions to just like put out there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what we're going to do is, I know we're limited on time, so we're getting close to time. So, what we'll do is, anybody that's interested in hearing more, experiencing this, I'm going to have Lois to put her link to her party. What is it called?
The relationship reset date.
The relationship reset date, but there is a fee for that one, but it's a low cost fee. What is it?
It's about $19.
Okay, so it's only $19 to
Yeah.
figure out how to be magnetically bringing your perfect partner for you into your life. So we will put a link in the comments so that you can jump into that, and then that will be held on Facebook, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, it's going to be Zoom. I like it to be private and intimate, and so
Okay.
people can feel because it can be vulnerable to share things.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to sign up. I have to look at my calendar, make sure that works for me, but I think I will be there. So I would love if some of the people in the group that are watching this can take advantage of it and jump into this amazing opportunity, because I'm looking forward to it, because it'll either help me to decide that single is where I need to be,
Mhm.
or how to not be single anymore. One of
Mm.
the two. I'm going to let go of any expectations of which way that's going to go, because, I have been married twice. There's nothing saying that I have to be in a relationship, but, sometimes I want one. So
You can be surprised.
I know. So I'm excited about it. So we'll put the link to the information for her
The
party. Okay.
easiest way is to join my Facebook group, and
Okay.
all the details, all the invites, all the things will be in that group.
Okay. So you want to send them into the group and not put the link in the comments, or you want to do both?
I can do both.
Okay. All right. So we'll do that. So regardless, if you're a person that's looking for relationship help with the Lois, just join her Facebook group, and then you can see a little bit more about what she does. But I'm making a plan to go, and December the 6th really is not that far away. I mean, it is shocking to realize we're almost halfway through the month already.
Yeah.
Yeah. So who knows? How long did you say it was from the time you met him, the dating app
Well,
thing?
in June I began really intense to work on it, all the feelings, and I met him August 30th.
Okay. So, I mean, it wouldn't happen by Christmas by any means, but you'd
Great,
start
great
the new
Christmas
year.
present. Maybe it's Santa.
But this has been amazing. And I really hate to cut it short because I think we could talk about this for quite a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So maybe we can do this again. But in the meantime, please join her group if your relationships is what you're working on or you're wanting help with. She's definitely the go-to person. And so we'll have that in the, what is the name of your group, by the way?
Magnetic relationship.
Magnetic relationship. All right, beautiful. So we'll put the link in the comments, and then if you have questions as you're watching this, or if you're watching the replay, you can put questions in the actual comments, and then Lois can come in and check them and see if there's something that she can answer for you. But
Or
definitely,
just connect, reach out, connect.
yeah.
I love
Yeah.
to talk about this. I love to help people and serve people. And I want you to have that great relationship as well.
Yes, yes. So I'm excited. And so definitely, if you're interested in relationships, come to this relationship detox, whatever the heck you call it.
Reset.
Reset. My memory is so good, right?
Maybe you forget your previous marriages.
Yeah, that would be beneficial, right? Of course, I want to keep the learning. That's the thing.
Yes. Yeah.
All right. So thank you guys for showing up
Thank
and
you.
for being here with us. And like I said, we'll put everything in the comments so that you can go ahead and purchase the event if that's something that you're interested in, and you can join her group at the same time. So I'm excited. So thank you again so much for being here, and thank you guys for being here as well.
Thank you for having me. See you.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.